Welcome home, everyone. Today we are going to talk about social housing while living abroad. I know a lot of you are living abroad out there and you are looking for permanent housing, you're looking for solutions. And we're going to talk about what social housing is while living in the United Kingdom, if that is something that you may need or want for yourself while living in the United Kingdom, how you can get social housing, and exactly what it provides. So that's what we'll do. Normally, we talk about affordable housing while living in America, yet when living in the UK, they do not consider affordable rent. They do not call it affordable rent like we do in America. They actually call it social rent because the rents are being linked to your local incomes, and they provide truly affordable, secure housing options for people. Okay. And so they do not buy into the affordable rent as far as the wording, but they do believe in social housing. So, social housing, is it really affordable? So, they say the social rent homes have rent set by a formula tied to local incomes, okay? Historically over there, social rents have been around 50% of the market rate, and this rent formula is controlled by central government and increases are limited by government policy, okay? Is it secure? Generally, it's more secure than the private rented sector, meaning a social rented home is a permanent home over there, okay? So it's stable. It enables people to put down roots and thrive within the community. So they consider it to be very stable. All right. So most people on social housing is on some type of waiting list who need a social rent home. So just like in America, you put yourself on a waiting list, but they consider this a social rent home and you will be on a waiting list. All right. So who provides the social housing? Exactly. It's provided by either housing associations, which are not-for-profit organizations that own or let and manage rented housing, okay, or the local council. The term council housing is commonly used interchangeably with social housing, okay, but council housing refers specifically to a council-owned or council-built housing that may not be for social rent. As a social tenant, you rent your home from the housing association or the council who acts as the landlord, guys. Okay? So what is the purpose of all this? The original intended purpose of social housing was to provide people with stability of a decent, safe, secure, and generally affordable housing, just like here in America. Okay? That's the intended original reason. All right. So, social housing is not limited to one sort of building or style. So, giving you a picture of what it kind of looks like. So, if it was built earlier in the century, it tends to be older style buildings, okay? But there are new builds, just like in America. And if they're newly built, then they look like any other modern home or building, okay? So, how do you go about getting social housing? How do you get a council home? So, first thing you have to do to get a council home is you have to apply to the housing register, okay? And you have to look for the council housing register in your area. So you can Google that, but that's how you have to do it. You have to apply to the housing register. And just like living in America, when you were to apply for some sort of social housing or affordable housing, you apply and you put your name on a list. Now you choose what area you want to live in. You can choose multiple areas to live in. So some of the waiting lists actually give multiple areas. All right. So they're going to ask for your ID, and they're going to ask for references, just like you do with any other type of housing waiting list. And then you bring those documents to the council office. All right. So if you don't hear from them, you need to contact them as if you do anything else, a job application or housing. How long does it take to get a home? It's just like in America. It can take months up to years to be called for a home. But just like in America, there are ways to get on top of the list or to get priority: being disabled, being homeless, being displaced. For any emergency reasons, it will be due to circumstances. But there are options for you guys that are abroad on getting you housing, getting you stable housing, getting you decent housing. And as I said before, they call it social housing here in the United Kingdom. All right, let me tell you about who can get on this council. All right, I know you're worried about immigration and all of that, so I'm going to tell you a few things. The people that can apply for council housing is if you are British or have Irish citizenship, you have indefinite leave to remain, you have refugee status or humanitarian protection, you have a settled status under the EU settlement scheme, a right of abode as a Commonwealth citizen, or a visa that allows you recourse to public funds. And who has recourse to public funds? What does that mean? It means you can apply for help with housing or benefits if needed. And examples of people that are allowed to recourse to public funds include Ukraine Family Scheme visas, Homes for Ukraine sponsorship visas, Afghan relocations and assistance policy, and Afghan citizens resettlement scheme. Guys, I hope this has been helpful. I hope it's been beneficial. Please share this information and like the video. By liking the video, we hope that it spreads to others so they can get the housing that they need and desire. Please share the video. There are a lot of homeless people everywhere, and people need housing. All right. I love you guys. If you're not a subscriber, please become a new subscriber. What we do is we live here creatively and we enjoy our lives in every area. If you look around this channel, there's a lot of information, there's a lot of fun, and there's a lot of ideas. And I also talk about affordable housing. I talk about it mainly in America, but I do know I know that there is social housing living abroad. And if you want to find out that information and other places, I'll be putting that out soon as well. So become a subscriber. I love you guys. I'll see you on a future video.